family, and hello on this Tuesday, November 16th. Welcome to Save Space on WURD Progressive Black Talk Media. I'm Carol Riddick, and I am your guest host for the majority of the week anyway. It is my privilege and my pleasure to share this time, space, and energy with you. I'm also happy to do so with none other than our producer extraordinaire, Miss Kayla J. Hi, Miss Kayla J., who, as you know, makes sure our experience is nothing but great. Well, I am excited, as usual, to talk with you and to talk with our guests. And I'm encouraging you, as always, as you know, to call in and talk with us as well. You can do so by calling 215-634-8065 or toll free at 1-866-361-0900. And if you leave us a comment on our socials, I promise you, I will do my very best to read it on the air. If you're interested in connecting with me on social media, you can reach me on IG at Carol_Riddick and on Facebook at carolriddick.vocalist. And you can reach Miss Kayla J too, everywhere at Kayla J_music nerd. But before we go any further, I just want to say thank you. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to those of you who are tuned in, to those of you who will tune in, and to those of you who wanted to do so. Let's get started. I'd like to introduce you to our first guest this evening. He's a drummer, a Grammy Award-winning producer, songwriter, artist, and the list goes on. That's just a few. Family, please welcome to the space, Mr. Eric Seats. Hey, E.
Hey, Miss Carol Riddick, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you so much.
I am honored to be here.
You know what? Thank you for obliging me and being a guest. It's a pleasure to share this space with you.
Thank you.
No.
Likewise. Legend.
Don't do it. But, you know, there's so much that I want to touch on. So I want to jump into some things, but I'd like for you to first start by telling everybody who is unaware from where you come and a little about you, a little of your background.
Shout out to everyone that is tuned in tonight. My name is Eric Seats. I only remember being an aspiring kid with ambition, and I wanted to only please my parents at a time. And that has unfolded to be a career called drumming and music in general. But actually humanity first before the music. Shout out to my parents and rest in peace to my father, Leroy Seats Jr. So I guess I'm here because I've been afforded the opportunity to express my gift through the liaison of music, and I'm still growing and learning. So I don't even know what it is that I do yet. I've heard that I'm good at certain things, but I can't wait to see what I'm really good at.
I love that. I love that. As a person who is constantly learning and growing herself, I always say I'm a work in progress. I always feel the need to, explain myself that, you know, I'm learning. I'm trying to do better. I appreciate when people say, oh, you're this and that and blah, blah, blah. But for me, it's never enough because I constantly feel like, okay, well, I still have so much left to do. Mm-hmm. But I love that you were talking about your parents, and from my understanding, both of your parents have a musical background. Is that right?
Correct. Uh-huh.
So what exactly were they? Instrumentalists, vocalists?
My mom was she was, from the time I've ever all of my memory is putting her in the choir. She's always been in the choir. I've watched her play piano. I've watched her take opera lessons. So vocally, my mom is an instrument in her right, and my dad being a drummer / producer, arranger, and writer, as well as a few other things under his belt. But musically, in family of music, yeah, that's the inspiration initially. My first two heroes had to be them. And I think what has groomed me today has been afforded the opportunity to ride in my mom's car on the way to somewhere, and her appreciation for diversity in music, called pop and maybe symphony, and it was a different appreciation. And then riding in dad's vehicle to somewhere, we didn't hear what we heard in mom's car. And so those things all accumulated I to this day vow that makes me the musician that anyone appreciates about what I bring to the table.
I say the same thing. My goodness, wow! I say the same thing about relatives of mine. Now my father was a drummer.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was not musically inclined, but those influences from family members mean so much to who we are and who we are becoming.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, though. You just don't realize when you're a kid. You don't realize when you're growing up and you're taking all of it in. You don't realize the sponge that you are. But in your adult life, just reflecting on all of those experiences and all of that just goodness, because that's what it is at its core.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I follow you on IG, and I saw a video of you and one of your daughters creating a song together. I think I liked it before I finished watching the entire clip because I was so endeared, by the moment you two were sharing. Talk to me about creating with your children.
It's a point, and that was my middle child of the footage that you caught, and that's Ari. But even more so with Aaron, and this was before social media is what it is today. But when and congratulations to my eldest daughter, Erin, and Justin, her new husband. I'm having a grandchild. So I'm having a granddaughter. Let me be specific about that. I'm having a granddaughter next April. And so what a blessing that is. So my eldest daughter, Erin, I did the same thing with her. And I just captured the footage because it was so accessible at the time. Mm-hmm. And the video cameras were a little bigger and probably a little harder to pull out. Yeah. And so the only reason, but I do have a lot of footage of her and us going through the same motions because she was actually the one that was in the studio with me with a lot of things that the world can associate me with. She was riding her bike around the studio when I was in the session with major artists. So, and even us talking about, what she can reflect, what she remembers about such a young, impressionable stage and age. But yeah, Ari, I make sure and share. I program with my son as well. It's important to me because what we're instilled, you want to at least leave the legacy or continue and then contribute as well to what we can set them up better with, and because it's all about resources. Mm-hmm. We're all gifted, but we need to be well-rounded. You can't just be gifted because that might be a limit as well, Mm-hmm. So we have to multitask in this life, and there's privileges associated with certain things, but I know our talents provide a whole thing for us that not many other features can.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I always say, our gifts, because it's spirit, it's spirit based, and
but it makes room for us.
Yes. But in addition to that, and I can say having, a father as a drummer, that it meant so much to me to play with him because I'm sure you feel the same about your parents, that they are everything. So, when my father when he allowed me to sing with him and he played behind me, that was euphoric. That was the absolute best experience in the world. So that was why I asked you about, playing with and creating with your kids, because I did not share that experience of actually creating a song with my father. Yeah. But I was so endeared to that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I'm not surprised because when they're out of school, I take them on tour with me as much as possible.
Nice.
A lot of my bandmates know that you might see kid and his kid with them, and it's normal at this point. You know what I mean? My kids have been on many stages. A lot of time, the artists I play with love my kids so much they bring them out on stage and let them dance and do stuff, and that's a blessing in itself. And I like them to get that experience because that's the real school. That's the what a you know at that age, just being able to experience something like that, that has to be such a fulfillment that when you go back to school and you share stories with your friends, not a lot of them are saying the same thing that you can say. You just come from all these countries with your parents. You know what I mean?
Right. No,
That's called wealth, right?
It sure is. It sure is. Now, I'm familiar with you and your history in the industry, but some of our listeners and viewers are not. Would you share with us some of the artists with whom you have worked and are currently working?
I'll just start from the top so I'm not unfair and leave anybody out. But I remember my first professional experience was with my classmate, John B. We graduated school together. After John B, En Vogue came around, Montel Jordan, Kelly Price, Deborah Cox, Tamia, DMX, Layla Hathaway, Rasan Patterson, Doc Powell. Oh man, please forgive me, y'all. This is that's why I don't like call. I don't like shout. I don't like name dropping. Everybody knows I don't know, but Patti LaBelle is the pinnacle. And many more to come.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, that was enough, that was enough. But what's more interesting is, like, I always say, no matter how well you believe you know a person, you really don't know anything about them. And I didn't know I wasn't aware of half of the artists that you just named that you played with and for. So thank you for sharing that. But that in itself, and you're talking about bringing your kids on the road and having some of them be receptive, that's a gift. That's a huge gift.
Yeah.
So one other thing I want to talk about too, I don't know if I've ever said this to you, I appreciate your dedication to your craft and to the fact that you like to showcase talents that you meet. I find that that's not something that I come across often in the industry. Not often. I have, from time to time. But I appreciate that about you as a human being and as an artist. Can you talk to us about Project CDO specifically?
Yeah, but that is something very near and dear to my heart, Carol. I'm glad you asked me about that. Project CDO is a compilation of material accumulated from, a lot of times when we get into the producer chair, after certain entities are involved, we like to chase the name and the fames and the dollars. But I'm just always captivated a lot of times by the unknown. That's not taken away from their ability. I'm talking about the popularity. And I've been afforded the opportunity to play with many musicians that are beasts that are probably not known. Singers that have been on background have become artists later. But I always like to delve into, and what's a great thing, we all know each other. And I always feel like there's a certain obligation that we need to fulfill as well as being instrumentalists and artists and creators. We need to make sure that we employ our own damn selves sometimes and quit always looking for work. And so what I like to do and what I know I'm doing is I'm building an army called Project CDO. And thus far, there's been 136 different people that I've worked with on Project CDO, whether they play an instrument or they're using their vocal instrument. And what I would like to think that I'm doing is graduating, because when you use the word collaborate, that means that you've had to consider what somebody else brings to the table. So the challenge as a producer for me is to meet somebody where they are and bring out what they do best. So what the world doesn't know, that myself and Miss Carol Riddick right here have two wonderful songs recorded already that we can't wait for you to hear. And when you hear those songs, you won't hear that production and say, that sounds like something Seats would have did. Because it's not, because Carol comes from another arena, and what we did together infuses in such a way that it gives me a way to display my diversity and appreciation for other I don't even like this term, but I'm gonna use it for this genre. And so that can only make me like greater later if I choose to keep delving in, because it's one thing to work with one artist all the time and y'all get a bunch of stuff done, but what else is possible? You know, for the lack of, you know, throwing people under the bus, but just keep going, keep growing, not going, growing, put an R in there, keep growing, keep evolving, because I bet you none of us have done our best yet, because just as sure as this equipment changes on us and these locations change on us, you better change with it.
How about that? How about that?
I'm sorry, I'm getting preachy, but I care about this.
No.
I care about it.
Listen, but that's why you're here. That's why I invited you to be a guest, because, you know, I care. I'm very serious about what it is that we do and what we're able to do. You know, we've been afforded opportunities that some have not. And I appreciate your point of view. I appreciate what you share and what you bring to the table. So please do share.
This is so serious, because music has been the best information provider / newspaper than anything else. It supersedes barriers such as lands and seas and continents in areas. It gets to it breaks into it. People that don't speak your language will know the song that you wrote. So there's so much responsibility on us that we need to make sure that we're not so silly and inappropriate about music and remedial.
You know what? I'm so glad you said that. When we come back, we're about to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to continue that conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Safe Space on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We'll be right back.
Build skills needed for employment through the Philadelphia Skills Forward Initiative, a free upskilling program for workers displaced by the pandemic, those whose jobs are at risk for automation, and Black and brown workers. Complete courses focused on digital literacy, career management, and professional skills for a successful career. Get started today at chamberphl.com. Football season is here. Stock up with Dietz & Watson, your official tailgate partner. Fuel up for the big game with a delicious Dietz & Watson sandwich spread and enjoy endless combinations of fresh sliced deli meats and cheeses in a variety of bold flavors, guaranteed to spice up game day. And don't forget to fire up the grill with perfectly smoked premium franks and sausages. There's something for everyone in the family. Head to DietzandWatson.com to find a local retailer near you. Dietz & Watson. It's a family thing. Premium meats and artisan cheeses since 1939.
Word on Jobs.
Are you searching for a job that fits your skill set and career goals? Visit wordworks.com and view featured jobs this week, including a full-time accounts payable position at the Barnes Foundation, member engagement specialist at the Philly Chamber of Commerce, or the Philly Shipyard 3-year apprenticeship training program. Visit wordworks.com and find the job that's right for you. Brought to you by Pico and Livelihood at Word Radio.
The Word Radio newsletter, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected. Sign up by visiting wordradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on Word Radio, messages from our president and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, exclusive articles and multimedia content, and resources. Stay informed with the Word Radio newsletter.
Save Space on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
Independent Black Media.
to stop, shut up, and work horses that bring their own anyway. Black mindset. Black mindset. I don't pass the test of the paper bag, 'cause I'm black myself. I pick the banjo up and they stare at me, 'cause I'm black myself. You better lock your doors when I walk by, 'cause I'm black myself. You look in my
Family, welcome. If you're just joining us or if you've been with us all along, you are listening to Save Space on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. That's 96.1 FM and 900 AM. Listen, I'm encouraging you all to call us at 215-634-8065 or toll free at 1-866-361-0900. I'm so glad you're listening to us because we do have a few callers on the line. First, I'd like to speak with Timothy if he's still there. Timothy, are you still with us?
Listen to me, and I'm not going anywhere. I knew I knew a young lady that lived on 15th Street, used to walk a dog named Deuce, and she had a great family, and she had an Effie and a Miss Sheen for her mother, and a John. And when I needed a campaign office, when I ran for office, they really let me use their space. Yes. And this young lady, she grew, and I would wait at night because they said, guess what? They said, Carol will be on television tonight. I'm going to wait up at night. You know, I had to go to sleep, but I made sure I went to see you before I went to bed. And I said to myself, if Carol can make it like that on the air, cut and do music. And I seen Diana Ross, Barry Gordy had enough heart. He said, well, all this time I got Motown, he said, I'm going to do a Motown West. I'm going to do film. He did anything, blues, mahogany, bingo, long, and traveling all stars. And I also seen like a Patti LaBelle who came from Philadelphia International in the background Soldier Story. I said to myself, maybe you and this guy need to take another step and do some Hollywood stuff. You're talented enough. You have the acting ability. I knew that young lady who once walked a dog named Deuce.
Yes, Tim. Oh my God, I am screaming inside. I'm trying to contain myself. Oh my God, you just brought back so many memories. Yes, for everybody who is listening, everybody knows I used to walk my dog Deuce, and I did not like calling him a dog because he was like a child to me. But the entire neighborhood knew him, and yes, Tim. Oh my God, thank you for sharing those memories. And he just talked about my family and my Aunt Effie, who, as you know, as I'm sure you can imagine, I miss terribly.
Listen to me. I miss that whole block. I miss Miss Maggie. I miss the kitchens. I miss George. That whole block, what we used to do on that whole block. And the other 700 block, and Kenny Gamble was on the other 700 block, and that whole neighborhood. Yeah,
Mr. Gamble is our neighbor. He still does live down there. So you've been listening to us talk with Mr. Seats. So you suggest that he and we do something for Hollywood. Is that what you said?
Listen to me. The sky's the limit. I mean, I know people with less talent.
Oh, okay. Okay. You upset my little fur child.
They need to start picking the people who can really do stuff. I'm serious. I'm serious about that.
Well, if I might speak for the both of us, I want to say thank you for that, for your confidence in both of us. I truly do appreciate it, and I believe I know Eric well enough to say that he appreciates it. I don't want to speak for you, Eric, but I know that I appreciate that confidence in us.
For sure, for certain. And I concur fully, Soldier, and thank you for that uplift.
Thank you, Tim, for calling in. Thank you so much. You have no idea. That was like a hug to my heart. Thank you so much.
Indeed. Love you.
Love you more. So we have another caller as well. Ronald, are you still with us?
Sure am. Hey, how you doing?
I am well. How are you?
Super fantastic.
Super fantastic. Ronald, so what's going on with you today?
Could I do one poem?
Is it a short one?
I hope so.
I hope so too. Because we're having a conversation here. I wanted you to join the conversation with Mr. Seats. Is it something that you can contribute to the conversation with Mr. Seats?
I love everybody. I
As
love
do
everyone.
As do we. As do we. And we're so happy to have you in the space tonight. What I want to do, though, as much as I would like to hear the poem that you want to share, I want to make sure that we share the time that Mr. Seats has with everyone. Because, Ronald, you and I, we're going to talk after this because we have some business to take care of. So I want to make sure that we allow Mr. Seats his time. Is that all right with you?
I would love to hear it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Ronald, for calling in and sharing some time, energy, and spirit with us. We appreciate it more than we can express. What I'd like to do right now, though, I want to get back to the conversation that Mr. Seats started before the break. And he was talking about our responsibility as creatives. And I think it is so important. Well, it's important to me. And anyone that knows, anyone that is within earshot has heard me speak about our responsibility because of the platform we're given. So I know, Eric, I don't want to, I'm talking too much. You're the guest.
No, you're not. You're not. I love the conversation, but you're absolutely correct and spot on this because we reach masses of people at one time at such a rapid pace. Mm-hmm. It behooves us to make sure that we're setting not only ourselves up in the moment, but anybody that, that we can, communities that we represent. We need to make sure that we're not just okay what we're doing, but make sure that we're representing with quality and excellence in our deliveries, and making sure that we're not so super shallow that, there's nothing new under the sun, but at least we could expound and expand on class and excellence as opposed to remedial, when we do get there. Let's not show how irresponsible we can be. I think it should be the other way around, and I wish it was in any arena. It's not just, I don't want to, section out music because in film, film is a huge responsibility. Has, film has probably more effect on us than songs do.
Yeah.
At this day and stage. So, wow, I'm not just talking I'm not singling out musicians, talking to everybody, whatever. I think this applies to everything. Mm-hmm. Doesn't it?
I agree with that. I do agree. I guess for me, the only thing on which I can speak is with regard to our realm and our arena, because that's the realm and arena in which I work, live, eat, and breathe. Mm-hmm. But I do agree that there's a huge responsibility across the board. I often say that I don't know as many take that responsibility as seriously as I know both you and I do. And I feel like sometimes the art is compromised as a result, and the message is not what what it should be.
Well, I don't know if there are messages anymore, right?
Well, how about that? Well, they're messages. I don't know if
they're just not the ones we want promoted. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some messages out there.
Right. I guess, there are testimonies too. So for us older ones that have paved the way or not, we should be listening and making sure that we don't ever blame everything on just the youth, because the youth didn't come out of nowhere. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it used to be a saying that we got the most information from home. So let's make sure home is in check.
How about that? How about that? That's so
Let's change the subject. I'm getting there.
I don't want to get you upset. No, let's not do that. I don't want to change.
Never upset. Never upset.
I don't want to change your energy.
Never upset. I take what I do serious, and I just can't reiterate that enough. But I don't know if this is me just talking about music. Whatever I was going to do while down here on this side of the land of the living, I was going to take serious. But character defines that, So that, you know, yeah, it doesn't matter what the subject matter. Just, you know, your character and the approach with your characters should speak volumes to masses.
I'm sorry. That's
Go
something
ahead.
to which, no, I was going to say it's something to which I can relate because I'm a passionate individual. So I know when I'm talking about something about which I am extremely passionate, which is anything in which I have involvement, then I too am emotional. So I can identify with what you're saying and I understand it completely. I want to say that Chip is sending some love to us. He's saying hello. He's listening. He's on
Thank you,
Facebook
Chip.
checking us out.
Thank you, Chip Soldier.
Chris Brown has a birthday coming up, so we're saying a happy pre-birthday to Chris.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Yes, yes, yes. We're getting love from our socials, and we appreciate it. And I told you I was going to try my best to mention it, so I was making sure that I did. Eric, before we go to our next break, we have another break coming up in a few minutes, but I want to talk about the next great drummer.
Wow. Thank you for bringing that up. And shout out to my partner, Crystal Allen O'John, Mark Ali, and the list of the NGD team. You know who you are, because I'm trying to wrap this up briefly. That was a inspiration. I used to get the question a lot, Carol, when we're traveling with these big name artists and you get impressionable people that walk up to you and they want to know, how did you get in? How did you get started? And so the only way I can answer that question, because we all have different testimonies of how we got started, and there's no one formula to this. So the one thing that I came up with, I wanted to provide a platform for these up and coming musicians to have a venue to display their gift.
Nice.
And I would invite a crowd, a nice crowd. Shout out to Sam Ash Music Stores Worldwide. He provided me the locations worldwide. And we would throw a performance, beginner, intermediate, and advanced drummers that could come and showcase their gift and abilities in front of people that were able to put them in positions of higher promotion and further things, and, you know, endorsements and sponsorship, everything. We to date probably have over 55,000 musicians associated with that. And so that was just something that I wanted to get off my chest. We've given away so many instruments, and not even that, we fed everybody for free at every one of our events. Just a wonderful staff. It was a great, it's a community, and you know, I love the term army. It's an army and a community called Next Great Drummer. And we'll get started back up soon. We had a little break, COVID reasons and things before that even. But it's magical, and it's something I'm very proud of, and it's going to live forever.
Oh my, first of all, I've never heard of such a thing. So kudos to you and to your team and to Sam Ash and everyone who my lips are forgetting, but my heart has not. I mean, it sounds absolutely amazing, because as you know, we don't really hear much about the give back. We don't always hear about that. We're not aware. But when did you start the Next Great Drummer?
2008 was our very 2008. Shout out to Spawn Drum Company for allowing us to have the contest in your parking lot. That was our first venue. And shout out to the city of Chino Hills, all the permits that we had to get in the, you know, to throw this event. And that we learned so much. Every event taught us something. And then, so we started out with 3 sponsors and ended up with 200 plus sponsors from every food entity you can think of, coffee shops. I don't want to name names because I don't want to leave out all of those, and we don't have enough time. But all of those people contributed to our communities and our kids that play music. And this was, trust me, there was not a sad heart in the house. We made everybody feel good. Everybody knows. These kids still keep in touch with each other. I've seen bands created because of people that have met from that event.
Wow.
I still am in touch. I wrote up so many college referrals from those kids, for those kids, on behalf of Next Great Drummer. I was writing college referrals for these kids.
That oh my gosh, that's amazing. That, I mean, as a community,
they're my brothers and sisters. My youngest kid has been a 6-year-old winner. Shout out Alexei Poblete, and my oldest drummer to date has been 56.
Woo! What? Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
No, again, kudos to you. I had no idea. First of all, I had no idea. 2008.
Yeah.
2008.
Oh, and shout out to when we came to Philly, Sam Ash. Shout out Miss Patty LaBelle was a judge. Miss Patty Jackson was a judge. Bunny Sigler was a judge. Philly repped. Philly. I had like 8 or 9. Oh, Kenny Gamble was a judge. Hey, Philly Sam Ash was popping that day. Shout out NGD Philly.
Well,
We went everywhere. Everywhere there was a Sam Ash music store, NGD showed up and showed out.
That, first of all, you just mentioned all my loves. Patty Jackson, Bunny,
Yeah.
all of my loves.
Yeah, rest in
Listen.
peace, Bunny.
Yes, yes. Everybody, listen, if you just tuned in or whether you've been with us for a minute, we are talking with none other than Mr. Eric Seats. You are listening to Save Space on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Stay with us because we'll be right back.
Peace, y'all.
The future depends on teachers. Every day, teachers are shaping our tomorrows, starting their students on journeys that will change the course of history. Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist who will make preventing pandemics their life's work, sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist who will help combat climate change, and generating possibilities for a student who will be the first in their family to graduate college. It all starts with teachers who meet challenges with creativity, who reinvent education for the future, who work towards a school system that lifts up every child, regardless of race, income, or zip code, and to enable the full potential of our students, our communities, and our country. Explore a career that leaves a legacy you can be proud of. Shape the future. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
I was probably a little bit like you. There was a lot of talk about the COVID-19 vaccines. I didn't know what to believe. And I tell you, everyone has an opinion. Some of my friends got vaccinated and some were against it. But I knew this was an important decision, so I went to somebody I already trusted, my doctor. It's your call, so talk to your doctor or healthcare provider and make the decision that's right for you. You can go to getvaccineanswers.org for the latest information. That's getvaccineanswers.org, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Word Radio is sharing a harvest for the world. From now through December 31st, visit wordradio.com each week to find information on upcoming Give Back events in Philadelphia. We'll feature organizations hosting free food and clothing giveaways, workshops, and more. This is the season of giving back, and Word Radio will make sure you have a seat at the table. For more information, visit wordradio.com.
Save Space on Word Radio. 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
Hey, family. If you have just tuned in or whether you've been with us, you're listening to Save Space on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. I'm encouraging you all to call us at 215-634-8065, or you can do so toll free at 1-866-361-0900. We can't forget that. That's 1-866-361-0900. We've been talking with Mr. Eric Seats thus far, who, I mean, there's so many things. I'm sure there's some things I'm forgetting to mention that you do and who you are, but what you did just share was more than enough. We were having such a hearty conversation about your contribution to the entertainment industry. And I'm so appreciative of what you are, who you are. You know, it's a pleasure to work with you. It's a pleasure to know you. I know that in the more recent past, there's been some music of Aaliyah's that was released. Mm-hmm. Can you talk to us about being involved in Aaliyah's final album?
Rest in peace, Aaliyah, and rest in peace, Static, immediately. I was afforded and ever grateful for and shout out to my partner, my production partner, Rapture Stewart. Shout out to Timbaland. Shout out to Missy. We were neighbors as well as co-workers. So it was a blessing to be a part of that record. And we've recorded many songs together, but 9 songs made it out into the public. And we know how that goes when we go into the studio. When you're in the studio hibernating with an artist, you do so much music. You got to select your favorites or what you think the world is going to appreciate and understand. And so it was a blessing that time period. That was in 1999 or 2000. And she was just getting started. They put us in on the Red album. Shout out to Blackground. And we really just delve in. We didn't listen to a lot of artists. It was good to be able to start from scratch with a team of individuals that were equally talented and gifted and open-minded, and not so engulfed in one area, but realizing that there's a whole world out there. And I think it translates through that music. You know, shout out to all the producers, J-Dub, Butter, Tank. I don't like shouting out people because in moments like this, my mind is everywhere, it's racing. But y'all know who y'all are, Rapture Stewart. Y'all know who y'all are, the Red Album crew. And it was just a blessing to be surrounded by such professionalism and drive and ambition and seriousness, as well as inviting creativity to take its course because I keep reading, I get inboxes and DMs all the time still about that one project. It's 20 years later. So for something to, I keep hearing that it sounds fresh. I keep hearing that. And we were just so innocent. When people ask me, what did you do and how did you do it? I'm like, I don't know. I was really just you have faith, the size of a mustard seed, and you go from there. Mm-hmm. You don't try to be anyone else. You be yourself. You include the appreciation what has built and invested into your character, and then you have to testify about what it is that you have to say too after a while. You can't imitate too long. You can't pretend too long. You can't be fascinated forever before you start to realize that I have an accountability and responsibility in this as well. So what is my thing going to be? But thank God for that. Thank God for them. Everybody, all included. Shout out to her brother, her mother, her father, rest in peace too. It was just I'm glad God chose me to be associated with such a thing that's so appreciated over all this time. And it's just something that I can't even not talk about it because they won't let you stop talking about it. And that's a blessing. Mm-hmm. Nor will I ever pretend that it's not contributed to the very thing that has got me, that has opened many other doors.
Oh my goodness. I thank you. Let me just say that at the core of it all. Thank you. Again, when I think about Aaliyah and the music that she shared, that you all shared, that she shared, or that was the world that was Aaliyah, that is Aaliyah. I don't want to say in past tense, because as you're saying, her legacy still, it lives on, and it is so strong.
It's super present.
Yes, but it should be. I believe that there was what contributed highly to the success of what you all did was the innocence of it all. Like you were just saying that, you guys weren't trying to do anything or to achieve anything. You just wanted to create with one another and share that space and that spirit and that energy at that time.
You know how animals can smell fear on us?
Mm-hmm.
The world, we can go to talent shows and you can see what kid is going to go further. Mm-hmm. And you can see the fear. And once fear is involved, it's a sympathy applause. But once they witness bravery, it's just like the trust that they have in you after you show the bravery. Mm-hmm. And I think it goes from there. I would like to think that it goes from there, because it's faith. It's all faith. It's all
Absolutely.
faith. It's all faith.
Absolutely. I think too. I'm sorry. No.
Go ahead, Carol.
No.
I was done. I'm done.
No, I was basically agreeing with what you were saying. It is faith-based, and as you and I both keep saying that, it is from the spirit that what we do comes, because it's our gift. It's a gift. We're given a gift, and we're sharing it, and trusting in the Creator, trusting in God, trusting in our gift, and just moving in it is what I believe is, to what those who hear and appreciate what we give, that I believe that's from where it comes. Just them appreciating, what we are allowing to just flow freely from us. And you can only do that if you let go, and you too, live in that moment and appreciate the spirit from which it comes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, man, to have been a fly on the wall, I know, especially because when we were babies, I feel like, after when you're in this business for a period of time, you begin sometimes, I will say this, sometimes you can think too much when you're creating, when you start, you do one project, you do another, and then you start thinking about or anticipating what you're going to do next. And that is the absolute worst. It just kills your creativity, because it's not from us. It does not come from us.
And don't let people put you in the bubble, folks. I want you to keep, a lot of people get hemmed up with their first project, or what, I guess not even what their first project is, what the world knows their first project to be ends up becoming the tone that they would probably need to cater to forevermore. But there's certain artists that get away with, no, you're not going to figure me out. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this and keep up with me. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Prince for doing that to us. Ooh. And the ones that paved the way in that, like, no, you're not about to hold me up. That's again, kudos to that responsibility, that the mentality, the approach to say, no, you're not going to limit me just because that's popular, called money making that, you know what I mean? That's not fair to creativity. And we need to quit folding and stop being so desperate enough to dummy down what we know it is that we're supposed to be doing. You know why this Project CDO exists? It's the one entity that I can get away with whatever. You can't do that everywhere.
I love that though, but
it's called independent too. The word of the day is independence. So it's totally my responsibility to make sure that it exists, no matter what that looks like or costs or the time, and that's it. And you better, or else don't have a complaint.
That is it. You're absolutely right. Let me tell you, we're about to get out of here, but what I want to say is that I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying. And one of my absolute favorite groups is, of course, Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah Band, who's also Kid Creole and the Coconuts. And it's for that reason, you know, because of the diversity and because they did exactly what they wanted to do. And I love all of the music they created and still play it. I still have playlists, you know, and share their music. But I want to say to you again, thank you
Thank you,
for joining me in this space. Thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for sharing, you know, your experiences, and for just being a part of this moment. What I do want to ask of you is that you share, number one, your socials, so everyone can stay in touch with you. And also, if you would let us know about how to become involved in the Next Great Drummer.
As far as the social, Facebook, Eric Seats, IG and Twitter, at Eric Seats 333. And I guess Google is going to pull up the most about me. So Eric Seats, SEATS. And as far as Next Great Drummer, we're on a hiatus as of right now until things get back to something that we can be effective with, because online is not as effective as in person. And I want to get back to in person. So we'll wait until further notice. So stay tuned to nextgreatdrummer.com. But in the meantime, the other social media, you'll always be in touch with Eric Seats. I am reachable.
One other thing, so Project CDO, I know you have another volume coming.
ProjectCDO.com. So that's Project SIDIOOO.com. Thank you for reminding me of that.
I'm trying.
Shout out Euphony. Follow at Euphony. That's EU_PHONY. Euphony. Thank you, Carol.
I'm trying to get it in. You know.
My mind is racing. I got.
It's all right. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, if you are just joining us, we've just had a conversation with none other than Mr. Eric Seats. You're listening to Save Space on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, and we will be right back.
AARP is working to protect Americans 50 plus by making sure you have the latest information about the COVID-19 vaccines and the distribution plans in Pennsylvania. Just visit aarp.org/PA vaccine to learn who's eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine, when, where, and how to get it in Philadelphia and the rest of the Commonwealth, and what you might want to discuss with your doctor. That's aarp.org/PA vaccine.
What's the asking price on these houses?
You'd probably be more comfortable living somewhere else.
How long a lease is the landlord looking for?
Well, I'm sure you can afford to live here, but...
What are the schools like in this district?
Yeah, we have twins in the 5th grade.
This neighborhood isn't really for your kids. You know what I mean?
If you're black, Latino, Asian American, or Middle Eastern, and a real estate agent or rental agent says anything like this, you know what it means. You're being discriminated against. Housing discrimination because of race, color, or national origin is against the law. If you believe you've experienced housing discrimination, contact HUD. Go to HUD.gov/fair housing. That's HUD.gov/fair housing. Fair housing. The law is on your side. A message from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Stand with Word Radio.
The only black-owned talk radio station in Pennsylvania.
Did you know you can join the Forward movement and amplify voices of the black community as a digital member for as low as $5 per month? Visit membership at wordradio.com or call 215-425-7875. We need you. Show your support. Start or renew your Forward membership today. This is Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia.
Streaming live on wordradio.com, the Word Radio app.
Or watch live on Word TV via Facebook and YouTube. Word Radio. Independent Black Media.
I can't wait till I get back to you. All this distance has me missing, yeah. All the good times that we used to share, I took for granted, petty semantics, yeah. But now I'm seeing everything so clear, and all I know is that I want you here. Just to think all the things we miss, if we ended like this, it'd be a big regret. So I won't waste time. The next time there's a chance to hold your hand and tell you how I feel. Oh, I can't wait till I get back to you. All this distance.
Hey there, family. If you are just tuning in, you are listening to Save Space on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. That's 96.1 FM and 900 AM. We've just had a very, very lengthy and nice conversation with none other than Mr. Eric Seitz, and it was, I don't know if you enjoyed it, but I did. I'm encouraging you all to stay tuned because we have another guest coming up. Our next guest is a businesswoman through and through. When I tell you, she's my friend, she's my sister, she's my good cookie girlfriend, all of that. She's a stylist. She's a hairstylist, okay, because they're two different things. She's a salon owner. She has her own hair care products, a line of her own, okay? And she is a financial wellness guru. Please welcome to the space, Ms. Mardia Reed. Hey, beautiful.
Hey, beautiful. How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Awesome.
Welcome to the space. Welcome. And you know what? Thank you. Before I forget to say this, thank you for accommodating and obliging my request to come hang out with us.
Well, thank you for thinking of me when it comes down to entrepreneurship, that you thought so much of me to call me. So I reciprocate that right back to you, sister.
Listen. So you're one of the, you know what? I appreciate that, but I tell everybody that I know and everybody who will listen that you're one of the best that I know to ever do it. So when I talk to you, my ears are always opened wider because there's some knowledge that you impart, some pearls that I put in my back pocket. So, and because you're my friend, you know, I appreciate, you know, being able to uplift one another. And I will say this. You know, as you know, I don't care who it is. I'm always willing and able to contribute and do my part to uplift the next person. But I appreciate being able to do so when it's my sister, my good cookie girlfriend. So what I would like for you to do, if you don't mind, would you please give us a little of your background?
In a nutshell. So, Carl, hey, Chloe. So as Carl stated, my name is Mardia Reed. I have two children. One graduated college, one is almost through college. She'll be done in December. Yay, right? I have been in this entrepreneurship realm for the past 30 years. A lot of people don't know that. I have not found anything else that is more satisfaction to me as far as the beauty industry. My mother was a stylist, and I am a second generation stylist. So my mom's been at it. She's retired. She put her license in escrow maybe 10 years ago. I picked up where she left off. So I've been in this space for 30 years. I have been owning my beauty salon where I am at now for 8 years. The name of my salon is 46th Street Hair Salon. I have a staff of 8, and I've been keeping it going for this long. It's not easy, but it's definitely doable. and I can't see myself doing anything else. I love the fact that when I can make people beautiful through my hands, through our conversations become more than just clients. We actually become friends as we are now. So I just couldn't imagine seeing myself doing anything else. It has been lucrative. God has blessed me so much in this industry that I've been able to do some things and actually put my children through college. So it's been a true blessing.
Let me say first, congratulations on your children, on the success of the education of your children, because I know that in itself is a job. Okay, I don't have any biological children. For those who are listening and saying, what is she talking about? She doesn't know anything. I do not have any biological children, but I do know that that is a job in and of itself. So kudos to you, for being a mother and a businesswoman and being everything in between. Listen, that's a feat. I do have some questions about a few things that you did mention, but I would like to invite Maurice to the conversation because we have a caller. Maurice, are you still on the line? I'm not sure if Maurice is there. I know Maurice was in the room. Well, he may not be there right now. Oh, yes, I can. Okay, there you are. I thought you left us, Maurice. How are you?
I would never, anything that got to do with the trades and the music, which we're missing in the high schools, I'm all into it because I might have been by that hair salon taking one of my younger friends to get her hair done.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
But, I'm so proud. You see, the problem is that I would love for the music and the trades to come back to the schools because this is what's going on with the world. Because I'm usually a political junkie. But when I hear you guys talking about this, my heart just gets warm. And seeing how you was able to take care of your family, and you, Miss Rick, I'm pretty sure I done seen you perform before. Oh. And I just wanted to ask you one question, Miss Riddick. Did you grow up in West Philly?
I grew up in South Philly. I grew up at 15th and Bainbridge.
Oh, wow. You was right in the heart of everything. Okay.
I was. I sure was. I sure was. Right.
I knew a Carol Riddick that grew up around 57th and Halford Avenue. I used to see around there.
Get out of here. Who knew there was another Carol Riddick? Who knew?
well, listen here. I think I'm talking to the original, so okay. But listen, you ladies are really doing a great job, and just hearing the inspiration of you keeping your business together with the beauty making, because that does a lot for a person to build them up. Because I'm out here, I worked in the prison system. And a lot of guys know me from the neighborhood, and what I would do is I would take them to the nice thrift stores out in the suburbs and get them a nice suit, a top, pair of shoes, and say, I know this is not what you usually wear, but when you're trying to get a good job, you got to show an image that you're ready to work. You can't go with your jeans, a cell phone, and a T-shirt and some sneakers. You got to look beautiful, or you got to look great. And that's what I teach. And I'm just loving listening to you ladies. I want to let you carry on, but you got a fan here.
Oh, Maurice, can I say thank you? Just thank you for your effort and for making a difference and attempting change. That warms my heart to hear you say that, because I really believe that we should all help each other. We should all help the next. And I've invited Mardia here tonight because I know that she is that person, and she does. I've seen it. I've been a recipient of her help. And I'm so glad to hear you say that you too are one of the helpmates. So thank you. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you right back.
You're welcome.
Miss Riddick, I would like to add on to what he said as far as the trades in the school. Unfortunately, they did take them out. I am a recipient of getting my license from Bach, going to night school, working in the daytime, and going to school at night. And I actually received my cosmetology license from Bach. And that's a program. I am one of the last graduates from that program.
You know what?
And a lot of people don't know, sorry to interrupt, that the program has ended because a lot of people went to school, but they never pursued to get their license. So they might have finished the hours. And so the program came together and figured, well, they're not going to get their license, so they stopped the program. Unfortunately, they did, because it has been a tremendous help as far as saving money, for me. And I'm also an educator. I pay for my educational part, but my license, it was free from a trade school. So I'm glad that he brought that up, because they should bring that back. Some schools still have it, but a lot of schools don't. And that will help keep children off the street and give them something to look forward to when they graduate school, to have that degree, that piece of paper in their hand, and they can pursue their career and just keep leveling up from that point on.
I'm so glad you said that, Marty. I was going to ask, so I'm glad you volunteered. I was so going to ask, so I'm so glad you volunteered that, because I'll tell you this, I had a conversation, it was, so I'm mixing apples with oranges, but I will share this.
That's all right.
When I was standing, I was out and about, and I was talking with a woman, and we were near Dobbins, and she was saying that they no longer have the trades in the school. That first of all, I was mortified, because I didn't know. I was unaware, but I felt a tremendous loss in that moment, because I was thinking, how do we do that? How does that happen? And I'm glad to have received somewhat of an explanation as to how that process began, because that's a detriment to us. That's a huge detriment.
Yeah, and it could help a lot of people. So if you don't mind, can I dive into the business part of the beauty industry?
Absolutely.
So what a lot of people don't know, and what I'm learning, that a lot of the younger women who come out of school and come to my salon, it's over 100 years of experience in my salon, period. I mean, people had their license for 20 years and 30 years, and we've been in the game for a long time. So when you get one of the younger women that's coming out of school, the only thing they know is the beauty part of it. I'm pretty, I got hair, I have makeup. They don't understand what's behind, not behind the chair, but behind the beauty of the business. And that is something that I am truly, truly passionate about, is the business part of it. You might see the glitz and glamour of it. I got people walking out looking beautiful, right? Yeah. They're already beautiful, but I'm just advancing it. That's what I say. I add to it. But at the end of the day, I go home, and if I could point this camera down on my desk, you would really see that at the end of the day, I dive into my business. And that's how my business has been growing year after year after year, because of the business part of the beauty. So my goal is to teach more about that part, just to teach more about that part. And I want to let you go, because you might segue into
No, I was letting you go, because listen, I know we only have you for a short amount of time, so I want you to share as much as you possibly can. And what you're talking about is so important, and it's something that I cannot contribute. So please do continue, and feel free to segue into the other arena in which you are involved.
Yes. So thank you, Ms. Riddick. So again, as I stated to you guys, I have been in business for the past 30 years. Literally, I tried to go back to college for child psychology. I even went for business. It just was not fulfilling. I'm like, it's, as the young girl said, it's not giving, it wasn't giving. It wasn't given. And what I realized is I was so busy working, I never peeled back my books. You understand what I'm saying? I'm busy. And I'm going to say this about me. I was busy being broke. People like, oh my gosh, you're so busy. And, and I was busy. I thought I was busy, and I was busy, but I was busy being broke. And one day I just sat still, and I said, it has to be a better way. I am a business owner, so I don't trade my time for money. I'm writing everything off. But I wasn't getting the fulfillment out of my business after being in this business for 30 years. It's a long time. You've been singing how long, Carl? I mean, so you get it.
Yeah, I did.
Right?
I sure did.
So you get it. So with that being said, I had to pull back my books. I had to open them up. I had to face, because it's a little scary when
that reality.
When you got that reality check. But when I did it, I was like, oh my goodness. I learned so much. I learned how to grow my business successfully. I have learned how to keep my employees in the salon, right? Because I have W-2 employees and I actually have 1099 employees. And a lot of people, when we do things, we do them all. Yes.
I'm sorry, I would like to interject because some people may not understand the difference. Would you please explain that to some of our listeners and viewers?
Yes. So 1099 means they are contractors, that they're contracted out. They're commission based. W-2 employees are hourly rate. So whatever we offer them an hour, that's what we get. They get an hour. So their taxes are already paid for them. I pay into their taxes. The 1099, that's a whole different ball game. They're responsible for their own. Okay. And a lot of people opt in. The ones that come out of school, I always offer them hourly rate because while they're building, they can still leave with some money. So I offer them more than minimum wage, but it allows them to build a book, but still at the end of the day to feel complete, to go home and say, okay, I worked 8 hours a day. I got paid for 8 hours a day. Okay. So again, Ms. Riddick, that is part of pulling back the books as well. And to understand, to not have somebody in your business building and leaving at the end of the day empty. You can't do that. Right. So moving forward, I felt like for the years that I was there, but I was stuck. Carl, you ever feel like you doggy paddling? Like
the hamster on the wheel. I call it the hamster on the wheel. I've been there.
Both of them. So you get it. Like you never stop, and it's just so tiresome. But you thinking you're doing the right thing, right? Because some people go into the business with their financial planner and the financial. I didn't. I just dove straight into it. So I had to learn. So once I got a chance to pull back the books, has helped me level up. I'm so grateful for tackling that, because again, it's scary. You're like, oh my gosh, Uncle Sam, right?
Yeah. That first of all, again, we're talking about the reality. We're talking about finances, and anything having to do with finances can be terrifying because you get so used to doing what you do and trying to do more and trying to do better, but the financial element of it, because it's not everybody's forte. You're trying to make the money, but you don't really know how to make the money work for you.
There you go. Because you can make the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
We sing and we glitz and glam. So we know how to make that coin. We know how to make it. The thing that got me is I didn't know necessarily what to do with the coin once I made it. Again, I said I put my children through college. Again, I'm a homeowner. I get it. But it's more to it than that. It's more to it than meets the eye, because most of us who are entrepreneurs don't have a retirement plan. We don't have a 401k. We don't have certain things. And people don't know. I have been working in the back of my head, but it was so in the frontal. I would say every day, how will I leave something for these children? It pierced. Oh my gosh, so a house, a car, that's nothing. I'm talking about some legacy, some generational wealth for these babies. You know what I'm saying? To make it easier for them, as my mother did for me, and as each generation, a legacy makes it easier for the next one. And I was able to, again, pull back those books and start making changes, starting to understand what I need for my business every single month for it to grow. So I was able to give the ladies goals. I was able to make goals for myself, goals for my business, and being able to meet those goals.
Can you do that for the rest of us? Listen. Listen. Can you help us?
I mean, but when I literally pull, and when I tell you every single day, even with the pitfalls, even with everything that goes on, when I pull back, you understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't know, being a business owner and being a W-2 employee, people don't know that even though the W-2 employees pay taxes, I have to pay into them as well. I can't just, they're going to take their money, but then they take from me because I am the employer.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying about it? So you better pull back them books, and you better get some goals, and you better have those contractors make certain goals so you can get where you need to be to start paying these girls. So what I have been able to do was take the money that I made to now finally see it. You understand what I'm saying? Not just not leaving without a paycheck sometimes, because you do know, as being an entrepreneur, sometimes you don't get paid. That's just the reality of it. But when you scale those books back, you're able to, because now you can put, I don't want to say demand, you can put goals on your employees and on your 1099s. You understand what I'm saying? Also, I have been able to specialize, as you mentioned earlier, in retail. People do not understand, and as being a hairstylist and you having that brick and mortar, every wall should be filled with a product. Every single wall. It's no way you would do someone's hair, send them out to fulfill somebody else's goals and dreams, because they're going to the store to buy the stuff. It's just, they're going to do it because that's just what they're going to do. Exactly. So with pulling back my books, it's not so much that I can put on a client. I mean, inflation has went up, so of course I went up. But it's not so much I can do for the on their pocket, because they're fighting it as well. So what I decided to do was add retail into the salon, which gave me that leverage to pay the receptionists, to pay the W-2 employees, to take some of that money and put it up into my PRA account for my children. Now you see me walking a little different. You see me talking a little different because I peeled back those books and I started shifting that money back into my pocket versus Uncle Sam's pocket. So I added retail and a lot of retail. So when my clients leave, they don't leave without anything. And it's not, you know, a lot of people that I talk to, Ms. Riddick, because I'm so, go ahead.
If you call me Ms. Riddick one more time,
Carol,
let me tell you something, okay?
My boo.
Yes, okay. But no, and you're absolutely right. I'm one of those clients that leaves with product all the time. But I want to interrupt you because we're about to go to break. But what I want to say to our WURD family is, now is the time to join the movement. As the only Black-owned talk radio station in Pennsylvania and one of only a few in the nation, it is more important now than ever to have a place where we can speak and be heard in our own voices. And we can do that with your help. Visit WURDradio.com or call 215-425-7875. Join or renew your Forward membership today. We've been talking with Mardia Reed, and we will be right back.
Remember the last time your family visited the forest? It's a place of wonder and imagination for the whole family, where stories come to life, and it's closer than you think. Ready to plan your next visit? Make the forest part of your story today at a local park near you, or find one at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Word on Jobs.
Are you searching for a job that fits your skill set and career goals? Visit wordworks.com and view featured jobs this week, including a full-time accounts payable position at the Barnes Foundation, member engagement specialist at the Philly Chamber of Commerce, or the Philly Shipyard 3-year apprenticeship training program. Visit wordworks.com and find the job that's right for you. Brought to you by Pico and Livelihood at Word Radio.
Save Space on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
Empty bottle, part-time model wrapped in your world. You think you're all gold mine, you've been excavated time after time. Lies like spring water you drink from every night. Lies like well water you so break, you had to take a bite. Let me keep slipping here, will certainly treat you right. Oh, girl, no, let me judge you.
Oh my goodness. Miss Kayla J. Oh, that music. Hey, family. Welcome back. You're listening to Save Space on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. Call us at 215-634-8065 or toll free at 1-866-361-0900. We've been talking with Mardia Reed, and I'm saying that because I call her Marty, but we've been talking with Mardia Reed, okay? As I've told you, she's a stylist. She's a hair stylist or hair care specialist. She's a salon owner. She has her own hair care products. She's a financial wellness guru. She's my friend, my good cookie girlfriend, and all that good stuff. And she's joining us to share some tidbits. What I'd like for you to do, since I know we don't have much more of your time, I would like for you to share how people can reach you and share some other information with us that you feel we need to know about what you're doing.
All right, let me check my clock. So again, my name is Mardia Reed, all things social, Mardia Cantee, that's MARDIACANTEE. Also, as Ms. Riddick said, as Carol said, Mardia, MARDIAREED. My retail page is 46retail.com. Like everything is 46th Street, right? So 46retail.com. I also want to say we are participating in Black Friday as well. So we have hair growth products that simply just means if your hair is thinning or maybe you need some edges, we have products, hair growth factor products, which simply means you have natural hair growth factors in your body. When they start dwindling down and not working so well, our products go in and put the nutrients back into where they need to be. So that's in your scalp. So hair prevention and hair growth. For Christmas, because we're participating in Black Friday, you can receive 15% off the kit. That's your shampoo, that's your conditioner, and that's your hair growth oil or your hair growth pomade. You will receive 15% off. Just go on the website, 46retail.com. It's great for men with beards if they're thinning in their beards. A lot of guys are, losing hair at the top, for stress reasons or whatever. Go in there, buy your loved ones a kit, get it for your husband, because we know they don't all buy stuff for themselves. Get it for your sons, and then ladies, get it for yourself and get it for your children and your family. So again, it's 46retail.com, and you'll receive 15% off of your products.
I love that. And now, for how long is the 15% off available?
A week until New Year's.
What? Okay, can you give us the website again? Can you give us the website again, please?
46retail.com.
Oh,
and the name of the product is Duo, but we'll have a kit up there. You'll see the growth kit, and you'll be able to go right on, check right out, and receive your 15%. As a matter of fact, when you sign up, it should be a pop-up. It says 15% off. You use that on your checkout code. We take anything, the American Express, PayPal, Apple Pay, whatever kind. Carol,
we love it.
We accept the pay.
We love it. We love it. And I love you. But I want to continue. I know I keep saying this because I know we don't have much more of your time, but I want to say thank you again. I know I said thank you in the beginning, but I want to say thank you again for sharing your time, your energy, your attention, for imparting some knowledge, and for sharing the little tidbit about the 15% off, because I must tell you that I love the product. So I was unaware, and I will go to the website as well. But I commend you. Kudos to you again for being, a mother, a business woman, an entrepreneur, for helping the next person. Again, I think I've told everybody that, I've come to you in crisis, like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. So for all of you, I don't know how to do hair. I never did. And I've come to Marty on plenty of the moment in crisis, Marty, please just fix it. Just fix it, because I don't know what to do. In any event, you saved me, but I think that it's so important what you're doing, the give back that you do. I want to mention too, there is an event, and I'm not sure if it's an event that you continue, but I do want to make everyone aware about your contribution to the public. You've hosted some giveaways at certain times, and that's always dear to my heart. I can't say enough about how much I appreciate you for that, and I don't know if it was okay to even mention it, because I know it's a labor of love, but if it is okay, would you talk a little bit about your give back efforts?
Well, we give back to the Cancer Society. We had a cookout, and all the money that was raised, we donated to the Cancer Society. We Halloween just did a block party for the children to keep them safe, so we did it on a Saturday, just to keep them off the street. We had games and prizes and candies. We cooked some chicken. We had mashed potatoes. We really believe in just, I guess you could call it giving back, but it's just our contribution to the community supporting us. So every time we get a chance, we look out, we give out coats. We have clients coming and exchanging coats, bringing coats, and just shoes. We give to the shelter, care packages, anything that we could do to make somebody smile. 46th Street, the team that I have with me is amazing. And I just want to say that live on this radio, I will not be me without the team. And I give homage to them. And also, Carol, I give homage to you for allowing me this space to be and to talk about my business. So I thank you so much, sister.
I'm grateful to God to be able. Do you hear me? And before you leave us, would you please let everyone know who your team is? They need to be recognized.
They do. So I have a team. Thank you so much. I want to shout out my number one girl, Andrea. I want to shout out Michelle. I want to shout out Taisha. I want to shout out Cheyenne. I want to shout out Sydney. I want to shout out Anissa. I want to shout out Ayana, and I want to shout out myself.
Mardia, thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, you have the information that you need to reach out to Mardia and to spread some love. Thank you so much, Mardia.
Love you, sister.
Love you more. Everybody, you are listening to Save Space on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. Call us at 215-634-8065 or toll free at 1-866-361-0900. We have our next guest about to step into the space. Our next guest is a powerhouse businessman who is no stranger to the WURD family. He is the founder and president of Brown's Superstores Incorporated, which operates 10 ShopRite supermarkets and 2 The Fresh Grocers supermarkets in the Philadelphia area. He'll correct me if I got that information wrong. And he's also he's also the founder and chairman of Uplift Solutions, a 501c3 nonprofit organization that supports food businesses, government, and nonprofits to create sustainable environments for underserved communities. Family, please help me welcome to Save Space, Mr. Jeff Brown. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great this evening, Carol. Thanks for having me on tonight.
You have no idea. I have been waiting to talk with you, and I'm so happy that you accommodated us and me, and that you are obliging. I know I don't have a lot of your time, and I apologize for the brevity, because you see I'm trying to get it all in. But I can only imagine that you are tired, because I know you've been doing so much. But I want to begin by just saying thank you. Just a blanket thank you. Everything is under that umbrella. But I want to dive right in. If that's all right with you. I read that most, if not all, of your supermarkets are located in what would be considered vulnerable communities, if you will. Can you talk to me about the strategy in that decision?
Well, I don't know if it's a business strategy as much as has to do with my upbringing. So when I was a young boy, we lived in the Northeast, but my dad had a grocery store at 40th and Girard and in West Philly. And as an 8-year-old boy, he started bringing me to work. And, it's part of my soul, and so in everything I do, there is a business part of it, but the business part doesn't crowd out the human part. The human part's got to come first.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much about you. I'm trying to contain myself because I've been wanting, I've wanted to have a conversation with you for some time now. And I applaud your accomplishments. I applaud your efforts and just you for exercising, exercising who you are and what you are able to do. It's so appreciated.
Thank you.
I imagine you may hear it often, but I wanted to say it personally.
I appreciate it. No, I appreciate it. Look, obviously I love what I do. I do it because I love what I do and I love the people I serve, and I get great joy out of serving people. But I still appreciate your remarks. I really do.
I know that, so we're going to go to break in a moment, but before we do, I'd like for you to talk with us about Uplift Solutions. Can you share with us?
So Uplift, which is 11 years old, really got accelerated when the Obamas took office. So President Obama on his campaign trail visited one of my stores, and it occurred to him that why are we able to solve food deserts in Philadelphia, but nowhere else in the country is anyone doing this? And it really stuck with him. And when he became the president, he asked us to come to the White House and explain what the secret sauce was. He said to me, him and his team said to me that our approach to business is quite a bit different than other business people he met. And he thought that business people in America would have a hard time grasping our way of thinking, and maybe a nonprofit could help. And that was originally why we started Uplift, to take our ideas and propagate them through the country and to help solve food deserts and where they existed, in the country. And so that was the beginning of our work many years ago, like I said, 11 years ago. And we really did help with the Let's Move campaign, design it, and then work with entrepreneurs and governments to get grocery stores open in food deserts all over the country.
That's amazing.
So that was the beginning of our work. And then I kept on opening stores in Philadelphia. And what really changed Uplift's trajectory was the opening of my store 52nd and Jefferson in West Philly. And, we have this tradition that when we decide that we want to go into a community, we have a town hall meeting. We meet with the community, we meet with the leaders, and it's a pretty open environment where I just stand in front of everyone and I explain my thoughts, and then I listen. Listening is a key element. And at that meeting, a very thought-provoking comment was made that basically explained to me in detail mass incarceration. And explained to me that when people come home from prison, they have a record. And companies don't hire people with records. And I have a business plan to serve people like that. And it's not the greatest or smartest business plan because if people aren't going to be able to get work, how do you build the business? This is a customer explaining it to me. And the customer explained to me that it would be smarter if you could fix this problem of returning citizens and show the world that they can make a mistake and redeem their lives and become productive citizens. And they said, you seem to be a guy who could solve problems. You should solve this problem.
Wow.
It was a pretty heavy assignment.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a heavy lift. That's something with which to be charged.
Yeah, but it really resonated with me. The logic of it resonated with me. And of course, when I started to learn more about it, I realized the injustice that has occurred in this country. People were incarcerated for things you don't get incarcerated for anymore, but they're still incarcerated.
Oh, wow.
And we incarcerate more people in America than any country in the world. And then when they come home, they have this record. And the record is like a life sentence because every kind of really good job generally looks at that record and like, yeah, no, I'm going to go with someone without a record. And so out of that comment, I listened and I heard what my future customer said, and I decided to experiment because I think that's a good way to solve problems. You can intellectualize it all you want, but until you start tinkering with it, experimenting with it, you don't really understand what you're dealing with. And we went and hired 6 returning citizens at that location. It was our first 6 that we hired knowingly, purposefully. And you know what we learned, most of them went to jail for drug crimes, selling drugs. And what we learned is that these mostly young black men were business people. You know, they were just in the wrong line of business, but they understood things that a lot of the employees I would hire, generally speaking, didn't understand. And what we saw is our first 6 hires accelerated into management at record speed because they understood business. We call things different names, but the concepts are the same. And so we were surprised that none of the things that my management team was concerned about turned out to be a problem. There were a few things that were problems that we learned we have to help them with. Like a lot of times, you know, people that have been incarcerated, the language they use is not business appropriate, or males and females don't communicate in a business appropriate way. And, you know, we just taught that whatever you do in the streets or at home, we're not judging you, just in the business environment. Don't do it like that here.
Right. That's important. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I want to talk a little bit more about that, but we're about to go to break. If you're just tuning in, we are talking with Mr. Jeff Brown, none other than Jeff Brown. And we will be right back.
Break out the late night fun and the plans that came out of nowhere. Break out everyone's favorite hangout snacks. Break out the chips that Philly has turned to for over 75 years. Because when it's time to truly live it up and absolutely get down, it's time to break out the Hers. Stock up on classics like Hers Crisp and Tasty, Sour Cream and Onion, and Barbecue. So you can be ready to break out the good times, the fun times, the best times. Break out the Hers.
Tried Eucrisa for mild to moderate eczema? It works at and below the skin surface and can be used on almost everybody, like on the dimples of a diva.
Yeah, roll your boat. Yeah, roll your boat.
Or the shoulders of a chef.
Look, Mom, I made jelly beans on toast.
Steroid-free Eucrisa works at and below the skin surface. It blocks PDE4 enzymes, which is believed to reduce inflammation, even on the wrist of a rebel.
What did you do to your hair?
What?
The specific way Eucrisa works is not well defined. Prescription Eucrisa for mild to moderate eczema is for topical use only in ages 3 months and up. Do not use if you are allergic to Eucrisa, Crisaborol ointment 2%, or its ingredients. Allergic reactions including hives, itching, swelling, and redness may occur at or near the application site. The most common side effect is application site pain, such as burning or stinging.
Come on, moms and dads. Check out Eucrisa.com and ask your doctor about Eucrisa.
Can I sing one more song?
You know that feeling? Like every door is closing and you just can't see a way out? Being unemployed, underemployed, or just out of school can feel like that. But when you find the right tools, suddenly everything just clicks. FindSomethingNew.org offers resources that help develop new skills. Skills that can position you for careers in today's growing industries, from healthcare and manufacturing to cybersecurity and alternative energy. Find your path to a new career at FindSomethingNew.org. A message from the Ad Council.
Word on Jobs.
Are you searching for a job that fits your skill set and career goals? Visit wordworks.com and view featured jobs this week, including a full-time accounts payable position at the Barnes Foundation, member engagement specialist at the Philly Chamber of Commerce, or the Philly Shipyard 3-year apprenticeship training program. Visit wordworks.com and find the job that's right for you. Brought to you by Pico and Livelihood at Word Radio.
Save Space on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
Just when I began to get myself together, you walked right in the door. Just just like you've done before, and wrap my heart around your little finger. But here you come open, just when I'm about to make it work without you. You look into my eyes and light those pretty lights, and pretty soon I'm wondering how I came to without you.
Hey there, family. If you have just tuned in, you're listening to Save Space on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. I want to say hello to Freddie. Hi, Freddie. Fred Sawyers from Atlanta is listening to us, and he says hello, and he's happy to hear everything that we've been sharing this evening. We've been talking with Mr. Jeff Brown, and he and I were just saying that there's so much that he could share. And I'm so sorry that we don't have all the time in the world, because I want to hear all of it. But I do want to go back to the conversation we started just before the break. And you were talking about hiring some of the employees that you've hired. So I'm curious to know, first of all, let me say thank you for doing that, because I'm an advocate of helping the underserved. I'm a huge advocate of helping the underserved and those who are in need. And I always feel like we can always do more to help each other. So thank you so much. You were talking about certain things that were appropriate in the workplace and not appropriate in the workplace, and I'm curious to know, how do you navigate it? How do you navigate that? How do you navigate that? How do you navigate it?
Well, culturally speaking, I think one of the things that we ought to work on in society is understanding each other better. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I like trying things, and then we'll see some things naturally won't go perfectly, and you learn by it, and then you adjust. So I learned from customer feedback, and employees were getting in trouble for saying inappropriate things, and so I said to my team, we really didn't train them for how we want them to address each other. And, in the street, it's probably acceptable to say those things, but it's not in the workplace, but we didn't explain it. Mm-hmm. And so actually in the early days, my wife and I retrained all our employees in the Parkside store. And we explained to them, how to say the things they want to say in a business appropriate way. And they also shared with me some street way to talk, which I thought was great, but not for the workplace.
Sure.
And I think we came to a much better place, and it really was more understanding than any other thing. It was a lack of cultural understanding. And I explained to them, some people probably don't even mind what you say, but other people's do, and we have a business. We want to serve everyone, and we want it to be open to everyone. And, we adjusted, and I think it's worked out well. And of course, today we have about 500 returning citizens working for us. Out of I think we have about 2,200 active employees, 500 are returning citizens, and we have that training down to a science at this point. And it's been very, very successful. And you asked me about Uplift, and it really created Uplift's biggest line of work, which is training returning citizens, training people that are currently incarcerated, and doing diversion. So people get in trouble, and sometimes the courts are willing to make a deal with them, get your life back on track, get a job, and we won't charge you. But you gotta be an upright citizen if you want this deal. And so Uplift takes all of those people and trains them for employers. And so we have a whole host of employers, and the deal we make with the employers, we don't charge you anything. We're going to recruit and train these employees. We won't send them to you unless we think they're up for the job. Mm-hmm. And we're going to send you the ones that are up for the job. We want you just to hire them. Like, don't go and pick through what then second judge them. No, that's not how we work. If you want to work with us, we want you to take everyone we send you. And then if you're not happy with us, don't use us anymore. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that model works good, because everyone that goes into our Uplift program is guaranteed a job. If you graduate, it's a 6-week program. If you graduate, you're guaranteed to have a job. And then we stay with those people for 3 years. Our staff stays with them, checks in with their bosses. And if there's any kind of like cultural differences or things that aren't working out, we sit down and explain it to both sides, how we recommend resolving the issue. And 6 years we've been doing that. We have recruited, trained, and placed about 600 returning citizens. And year to date, we're running a 2% recidivism, which makes us just about the best program in the country.
Yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely, indeed. You know, I was reading about all of the boards on which you sit and all of the seats in which you participate. Now, at the core of it all, I understand that where there is a will, there is a way. But
That's
how do you manage and with effectiveness? How do you manage?
Well, I mean, first of all, I have a driving force, which is in my life, I want to materially impact structural poverty and inequity. And if you notice, almost everything I do relates to that. And so I have a purpose for what I do, and nothing's incidental or not important towards that goal. And then I look for places where I think we can make a big leap. And perfect example is PLSD, the Philadelphia Legal Society for Social Equity, is the largest nonprofit law firm in the state that does expungements and pardons for underprivileged people. And I joined that board because my employees had become successful and become managers and have good compensation and benefits and retirement, have got a family and have kids. They still couldn't buy a house because the mortgage company would not lend money to a returning citizen. Some of them couldn't live with their family in public housing, which to me is pretty shocking. Like, where would a person live?
Exactly.
And so I joined PLSE because I felt that if you've proven yourself, you're out of jail, you're working, you're making money, taking care of your family, you need to lose that record and you need to regain all the rights of every citizen. Sure. And so I really helped them scale up their operations, and they provided 25,000 expungements in Philadelphia.
Wow.
And so what motivates me is I knew what I was trying to do, and I found a way to do it, and I went and found the time and energy to make like a small miracle happen that couldn't have happened any other way.
Basically.
And that's what drives me on all the things I do. They all have a purpose to address structural poverty and inequity.
My goodness. And I'm at such a loss for words because that, like you just said, that's a small miracle right there, you know, and I admit we have a lot on which to work.
Yes,
societal.
We have lots of problems.
We really do. We really do. But I again, thank you for your contribution and for taking the necessary steps to help those of us who are in need and those of us who are trying, and to right some wrongs. I know we're going to wrap up any moment now, but I want everyone to know how important I feel the work is that you do. And which is why it was so important for me to talk with you tonight. I want to say thank you to your wife, and I want to say thank you to Laval Warren as well, for doing all the legwork and making sure you are sitting here right now. But I just want to say kudos to you and to let you know that I am such a huge supporter of your. I'm telling him it's such a loss for words right now. That's terrible. That's terrible. But
that's your business.
Your empire, it is exactly. That's why it's terrible. But for your empire, that's the word for which I was looking. It's amazing, and I wish you continued success with everything that you are doing and with all of your endeavors. And I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay tuned to see what's coming up next. Actually, let me ask you what's next on the horizon for you before we get out.
Well, one very interesting thing. I mean, if you take a step back and look at society, you sort of could see some really bad designs that we have and some really bad outcomes. And the question is, how do we fix that? And so one of the things that bothers me, and I think it causes so many different problems, is the anemic rate of entrepreneurs of color. And I really think we need to dig into that further. And, you know, during the pandemic, it really exposed how fragile these businesses are. Mm-hmm. And, you know, one of the things that maybe I'll come back and talk to you another time about is the PA 30-Day Fund. Some colleagues and I co-founded a fund to sort of save women and businesses of color during the pandemic. And we raised roughly $3.7 million. And we gave out grants to 1,000 or 1,100 businesses to keep them in business during the pandemic when the government was turning them down.
Yes.
Yeah, the government was turning them down in huge numbers. And we could talk about that another time, why that is.
I wish I had been aware of that, because I would have started the conversation with that. And we were just speaking with a female business owner. I'm terribly, terribly sorry that we're going to have to cut the conversation short because we are coming to the close of our show. But family, thank you. Number one, but thank you, family. That wraps up tonight's episode of Save Space on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. I hope that you have enjoyed our time together. I know that I have. Thank you to Miss Kayla J. Thank you, family, for participating. As always, it was truly a pleasure and a privilege. And thank you to each and every one of our guests, Mr. Eric Seitz, Ms. Mardia Reed, and to you, Mr. Jeff Brown. Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure, Carol. I look forward to being back.
Thank you. Remember, family, that we are all in this together, so be good to you and be good to those around you. God willing, I will see you tomorrow in the same space and at the same time right here on Save Space. Stay tuned. Keeping It Real with Al Sharpton is next.
Make me so happy.
Thank you.
And I want to explore every part of